on Wednesday next week. What's your point of order, Senator Kang'Ata?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 107, which provides that the order shall be maintained in the Senate by the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I draw your attention to first schedule of the standing orders. Rule number 6, Sabbatical 2, and also Sabbatical 3. And I read, Mr. Speaker, 6.2, first schedule. No external media house or other person may broadcast any proceedings of the Senate except as received from the broadcast feed provided by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit or with the permission of the Speaker. Sabbatical 3 provides, and I read, a media house that receives a broadcast feed from the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit shall broadcast it without any manipulation or distortion. Mr. Speaker, also allow me to read first schedule, Rule 7, Sabbatical 1, which says, any person who fails to comply with these rules shall be liable to such penalty as the Senate may, on the recommendation of the Committee of Privileges, consider appropriate. Mr. Speaker, I draw your attention to those rules because of something that happened yesterday. Mr. Speaker, yesterday I had a request for statement. I logged in while I was outside the chambers, and I was making a major request concerning plight of farmers in Murang'a County who remain unpaid by the Murang'a County government millions of shillings, and therefore making them suffer at a very personal level. Pursuant to that request, when I tried to log in externally, I was unable to do so. No, yes, of course, there was a small technical problem, and therefore I decided to come to the chamber and make that request orally on the floor of the House. But later on, it appears somebody manipulated yesterday's Senate proceedings and gave a false voicing over, which inserted somebody purportedly saying that I was seated in a certain bar. Mr. Speaker, for the record, yours truly has never touched any drop of beer or any form of beer or wine or any alcohol product since the time yours truly was born. Mr. Speaker, yours truly has never taken any cigarette. Yours truly has never taken any form of drug since he was born. And that is based on, Mr. Speaker, that is based on my very strong religious upbringing. And therefore, anyone who mentioned, who purported to show me in such kind of a setting is not only insulting me at a very personal level, insulting my religion, which is Catholic. I happen to be a member of an organization called Pioneer, which amongst the Catholics, it opposes alcohol consumption. Mr. Speaker, also, yours truly happens to be a family man. He has 4 children, and they are all young children. And therefore, to the extent that I was defamed, a person did a fake and a false voiceover. To me, that is something that was very hurting to my family. Mr. Speaker, that manipulation, if it is stayed in social media, maybe that would be understandable. But it was picked up by the following mainstream media which have a representation here in this parliament. they come to Parliament, they record, and they get access to public facilities. The following media stations are 1, Citizen TV Digital, 2, Star Online Digital, and 3, K24, and also finally Kameme FM. Those 4 media stations, they picked up that fake story and they gave it legitimacy, Mr. Speaker. They have flouted clear provisions of the standing orders, which we passed. I therefore move you to take serious disciplinary actions against the editors of the 4 platforms. This is not personal, Mr. Speaker. If we allow this to go on, I have no doubt tomorrow another senator will be in the same problem. Today it is Kang'Ata, tomorrow is another senator. And the dignity of this House will be impugned. I call upon Mr. Speaker, please seize this opportunity to call those editors to appear before the Powers and Privileges Committee of this House, and they take remedial actions. Because once they picked up that story, they gave it legitimacy. You have the power to punish the editors of those 4 media stations which picked up this fake story and gave it legitimacy. Thank you.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand here to condemn that action by especially the mainstream media houses. The Speaker, I am a journalist of good and long standing in this country, and journalists all over this country are guided by the Code of Conduct and Ethics for the Practice of Journalism in Kenya, which is actually the Bible or the Quran for professional journalists. And in that code of conduct, Mr. Speaker, a principle of verification of news is a cardinal principle. Speaker, protect me from Senator Nyamunga. Thank you. So, the Speaker, I'm saying that the code of conduct for journalists demands that before you publicize any information about any person, you must counter check and verify and be sure that the information you're publishing is factual. The Speaker, I have said in one of our forums that yes, at a very personal level, Senator Kang'Ata has been hurt by that kind of publication. But the Speaker, the dignity and the social standing of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya is in disrepute on account of that publication. Because a wrong impression is created that senators would transact Senate business from brothels. Mr. Speaker, that is a serious matter. As long as the Speaker, just to help my friend and my colleague, Senator Kang'Ata, and this House, the procedure is very clear. This matter must be taken up, first of all, with the Editors Guild. The persons who authorize publication of any information in any media house, because the body for all the editors in this country. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, this matter must be taken up with the Media Council of Kenya. And as a stopgap measure, Mr. Speaker, because we have gone through this when I started in newsrooms, the stopgap measure for the Speaker to do, goes as happened to us before, is to bar those media houses from the precincts of Parliament during the time of investigations and decide on their readmission with certain principles and certain conditions being put on them to meet. The Speaker, with those few remarks, I really condemn that action. I thank you.
Senator Wetangula.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in defense of the distinguished senator from Murang'a, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday we were in this house, and Mr. Speaker, when he logged in on the Zoom platform and his picture didn't come on the screen, you said he needed to have an appropriate platform through which would allow him to communicate. And those of us who saw him on the screen, Mr. Speaker, clearly saw that the distinguished senator was in fact in his car, probably driving here. And to buttress that, he was within the chamber in less than 5 minutes. He was even able to prosecute his statement. I was horrified, Mr. Speaker, when I woke up in the night to read papers online, to see one paper saying, in written, that you sitting on that chair overheard, I don't know where they got this from, overheard a member saying that the distinguished senator from Murang'a was in Sabina Joy. Mr. Speaker, Sabina Joy is a notorious dirty place in the history of Nairobi from time immemorial. It is not just a bar. And it's a house of sin, Mr. Speaker. And for the media to pick up that kind of gutter reporting and proceed to malign the senator with abundance is something that must be condemned and is contemptible, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, these House broadcasts are live. And right now we are not competing with the lower house. We are the only house sitting. So there is nothing like they picked the proceedings later because they were beaming on the other house. It was live. So nobody has an excuse to pick it up, distort it, and churn it out as fake news, Mr. Speaker. An apology is desired and must be meted out to Senator Kang'Ata and the House, and Mr. Speaker, all the other required punitive measures that have been spoken to by our distinguished colleague who is a long-standing journalist, Senator Wambua, and Kang'Ata himself, are appropriate. Because, Mr. Speaker, you malign one senator, you malign all the senators. You malign one senator, you malign the entire House. And to drag your name in, Mr. Speaker, that you overheard somebody mentioning Sabina Joy is a matter of serious contempt of the chair of this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I was not present yesterday, but on my way back to Nairobi, I was alarmed by the statement that showing that Senator Kang'Ata, who I've known to be a man of good standing, was at Sabina Joy. So I didn't understand what he was looking for there. But worse still, from the video itself, you could tell that the video had been manipulated. What bothers me, Mr. Speaker, is that that video has a commentary. Somebody appears to be commenting in the video. Is that Sabina Joy? Is that Sabina Joy? Now, this is how you remedy such things. Number one, KBC who are here must release the correct video, verbatim, and not later than 1 hour after your pronouncement. That's number one. Secondly, you then deal with the people who then broadcasted the wrong video. They must give an explanation to this House as to how they got that video. Mr. Speaker, I must say that I drafted the cybercrime law. And in drafting the cybercrime law, this is exactly what we were avoiding. And when we were complaining about manipulation of servers, this is exactly what we were saying. You, first of all, manipulate numbers, you manipulate a voice, the next time They are going to manipulate you. They are going to show you without clothes, but with your voice. That's how dangerous it is. And we must deal with this issue because the person who did this not only did this to Senator Kang'Ata, a man of good standing, but violated, befouled the nature and the good standing of the House of the Senate. Mr. Speaker, you cannot be kind to these people. You cannot. And I've seen discussions going on somewhere in a platform. We must tell the media that must be responsible about what they put out there in social media. We apologize to you, Kang'Ata, and to your family. This must have caused you distress. I don't know where you slept. I hope you slept well. For somebody to allege that during the day when you are supposed to be in the Senate, you are in a brothel, cannot have been a good thing for you last night. So if there was any harm caused to you, we feel sorry. But the Speaker, please remedy that situation for the good reputation of this man who is not only a family man, but has children who are possibly accessing that video right now as we speak. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ali Abdullahi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think this country is going to the dogs. If we continue like this and you allow the media to behave the way they want and the media becomes rock, then we are in trouble, Mr. Speaker, sir. If I was the one, then I will not be sitting here like Kang'Ata. I would have been looking for people and dealt with them properly. Because if this is the way they want to deal with us, Mr. Speaker, this is very serious. And I apologize also to Senator Kang'Ata, who I am learning today that he's a very religious man. I didn't know that. But all in all, I think it is good that the bad thing that has happened to him has made him come here and say all his religious things and how good he is, because if I was told before he was that religious, I would not have believed it. But now I believe it. And Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with what the other members said. Those media houses must be dealt with. If we continue with gutter press and social media without control, then this country will be in trouble. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to support all the statements, and those people must apologize, and they be chased out of this house, proper for a certain period of time.
Thank you, Honorable Senators. I seek your indulgence. I know there's a lot of interest, but so this is what I want to say. That if what the Senate has alleged is true, this would constitute a serious violation of our standing orders. However, it should be noted that this is the first time that this matter is coming to my attention in the House. I have not myself watched the alleged manipulated recording or read the publications complained of, but to make any determination on this matter requires a full assessment of the evidence. It's not possible for me to make an immediate ruling now, but I promise to give a ruling on Tuesday, which will serve as a lesson to all other media houses that... What's your point of order, Senator?
No. Let me say, Speaker, allow me to say this. The video where Senator Kang'Ata was speaking is available here. The immediate thing to do through our Senate platform or Senate Twitter is to issue the correct video immediately. And then you investigate the others. To say, Mr. Speaker, that this will be done next week, Mr. Speaker, is to allow this video to continue going viral. It's harming this man. This is a family man, Mr. Speaker.
No, order. If harm has been done, order. If harm has been done, it has already been done. Order, members. Of course, it's order. This is a serious matter. Order, senators. What is it, Senator Cheruiyot?
Mr. Speaker, we will be guided eventually by how you direct us, because that's your responsibility. But so that we don't, one, trivialize this issue by making it to appear as if we are only offended as a House because it's one of our colleagues, I thought the most prudent thing to do, because this calls into question the whole question of media ethics and how they have behaved of late. It will be proper and for the benefit of the country, so that it's not just about Senator Kang'Ata, is that using this as an example, let this matter, refer it to a committee of this House. How this works, Mr. Speaker, how Parliament works is through its committees. Refer this matter to either the ICT committee or Justice and Legal Affairs. Let the relevant media houses come here together with that Media Council of Kenya, because it should not just be a discussion about Senator Kang'Ata. It should be about how they have overall. Mr. Speaker, you are aware about what happened last weekend.
Don't influence my decision.
Senator Kang'Ata, relax, I make a case for you. Mr. Speaker, imagine last weekend, Senator Moses Wetangula, and he's here, was at a church service. He sought the permission of the Archbishop to leave a church service because he needed to go elsewhere. Within minutes of leaving, media houses were reporting that he has stormed out of a meeting. That is how low media has sunk. And we need to put to question Media Council of Kenya to ask them, what are you doing about this, the kind of media practice that we are seeing in our country? So refer this matter to a committee of the House.
Order, senators. Order, senators. Order. Okay, Senator Mwaruma.
Thank you, Chair. Speaker, I want to make some observation because I was actually attending the sessions online, and the assertion that that sound was superimposed later on after the proceedings might not be true. That's why we want you to really order investigations. As the proceedings were going on, there was somebody who was saying, Yuko Karmaindo, Yuko Thika Road. It was ongoing. So maybe you really need to investigate properly before you make a decision. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Wetangula. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, before you make a determination, it will really help this perfect gentleman from Moranga, Senator Kang'Ata. Mr. Speaker, it will help a great deal the reputation of our brother here if you ordered the live recording of KBC to be released and circulated to these offending media houses to replace the fake news that is circulating in a viral manner. So that, Mr. Speaker, as you bring your ruling at a date you are suggesting, they will have purged the offense by releasing the correct version of the proceedings. And I want to tell my brother, Senator Mwaruma from Taita Taveta, we were in this house live. There is not a single person who shouted that Kang'Ata was on Thika Road or at Karmaindo or at Sabina Joy. We were sitting here, the house was dead silent. Even Senator Foisiolo was here, sitting with me here. There was no such noise coming from the House, Mr. Speaker. So if anybody is inventing news, fake news, and circulating it to malign Senator Kang'Ata, even if we don't like Senator Kang'Ata, will die defending his right to enjoy his freedom without hindrance, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, order, senators. Like I was saying, you know, the Speaker uses evidence produced to him in this House. I was making a ruling, and this is the ruling, that this is a serious matter. I've been a victim myself of media. And that's why I'm saying that it does not matter how long it takes, but justice must be done. And I want to ask you to allow me to make a detailed ruling on Tuesday. And I was saying the ruling is going to serve as an example to other media houses who manipulate or want to play around with the proceedings. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Chair Labour. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements.
Statements. Senator, I know Abdullahi Ali has, I'll give you a first go.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir,